National Heritage Academies, or NHAs, I may refer to it throughout our time together, is a national leader providing high-quality kindergarten through 12th grade education throughout the nation. We have over 100 schools, and we partner with communities and community-based school boards to bring a rigorous academic curriculum to your child's classroom, as well as a very unique and proprietary character education program that we refer to as the Moral Focus. We have a shared mission and a shared purpose, both at the school level with NHA, and we also emphasize school safety and the growth of your child, not just their proficiency. So wherever your child lives, in whatever community they come from, we focus on growing, loving, and serving your child to the best of their ability to help them learn, grow, and thrive to the best of those unique abilities that they may have. Our goal with this Kindergarten Expo is that we want to equip you with the skills, the knowledge, and the wisdom to make sure that this is the right opportunity and choice for your family. National Heritage Academies wants to make your child's first day be an amazing one. We want to take away those jitters that you have as a kindergarten family, as well as to help equip you with all of the knowledge and skills and information needed to help this be a successful experience, both in kindergarten and all the way through potentially 12th grade. Kindergarten begins our partnership with you. It's our partnership between you as a family and us as a school. And I want to welcome you today to this expo and welcome you to your first kindergarten year.
A lot of times in kindergarten, we focus on letter alphabet recognition first. And so we work with uppercase to start with, and then we move on to lowercase. And so if they can identify the letters first and then the sounds second, that will be crucial coming in. But that's also something that we go over in our kindergarten curriculum. So our phonics to reading program works on letter identification, and so does our other shared reading model works on letter identification coming in. So something that you can at least expose them to will be helpful coming in. And then also number identification. We start with numbers 1 through 10. Our goal is for they leave kindergarten identifying numbers 1 through 30, but really we look at those numbers 1 through 10 coming in, and then also being able to easily identify how old they are, when is their birth date. Another life skill task that's really important is what's your address, what's your parents' phone number. We work with them on that because in the case of there's an emergency, they may need to know that. Moral Focus at NHA is a part of our daily schedule and a part of our curriculum. So students earn grades based on Moral Focus. There's Moral Focus activities they participate in, projects they participate in, and so Moral Focus is a really important piece to our curriculum that every student participates in.
Moral Focus is a time for us to be very intentional about teaching students what it means to be a person in this world. That includes several different virtues like courage, compassion, perseverance. Those are all life skills that we still as adults have to use every single day. So in a kindergarten classroom, we're introducing them to what that looks like at this level. If you are showing perseverance, how do you do that when you're in your classroom? Well, that means I may have to work really hard on my assignment even when it's hard. Or having self-control, I'm going to have to wait my turn when it's time to go to the water fountain. Those are all things that we try to incorporate with students at this level so that they understand what that real world experience is.
Our teachers and students are always referring to it. So whether you're in fine arts and a specials class, music, art, PE, technology, or if you're in the classroom, our teachers are always referring back to that and through our social contracts. So what did we agree to as a class? How are we showcasing wisdom? What can we do better with wisdom? Really being able to make that as a part of their everyday life and not just our set Moral Focus time in the curriculum. We have these amazing stuffed animals that NHA has come up with. So our first moral focus virtue is wisdom. So this is Ollie the owl that is in all of our classrooms to be able to represent wisdom. And then he also has NHA did an amazing job creating books that go with our animals. So Ollie the owl has his very own book that is able for students to be able to relate to and show examples of how to show wisdom. So moral focus at home is really an extension from school. If you hear that we're talking about wisdom, you can use that in your home when your scholars are deciding, okay, was that a choice where it was showing wisdom or not showing wisdom? You'll also receive tips and tricks on how to continue that at home, whether that's from your child's teacher or dean or principal. We really want this to be a carryover, so not something that they're learning just at school. You can utilize this at home as well. Kindergarten's a huge step. That's the first time that they're really stepping into school for those foundational years. So I tell parents, really this is a year for not just academics, but a year to grow them socially, emotionally, how to be a good citizen, how to be a good friend. And so there's a lot that we focus on, but the first thing that I would say is really important is students being able to establish some independence, which that means if they're coming in and prepping for school, I always tell parents, really work with them over the summer before kindergarten on how to open a lunchbox, how to zip up a jacket, how to tie their shoes. We know that that may be something that they're working on throughout the kindergarten year, but just those basic life skills, and also being able to self-regulate. A lot of students struggle with that coming into kindergarten of, hey, I feel these emotions, but this is what I need to do to be able to self-regulate. So working with your scholar at home to be able to say, hey, I know you're frustrated right now. What are some strategies we can do when you are frustrated? Maybe it's a fidget, maybe it's a squeeze ball, maybe it's deep breaths, counting to 10. And so we work with them coming into kindergarten on all these strategies, but we do see that as a big barrier coming in because they just can't identify why they're feeling those big emotions. Each teacher is aware. We do have a kinder camp, so we're able to look at each student as they come in and be able to see where they are academically, socially, emotionally. And teachers welcome all levels with open arms. So we know that some students may never have had any schooling or any background. So they come in and we're teaching them alongside their parents some of these independence life skills. Whereas we may have students that come in highly independent and ready for kindergarten, and we're able to take them on and really extend those independent skills where they may be partnered up with a student or a role model for a student that is not able to do that.
A kindergarten assessment is a way for the school to get an idea of the needs of a student. We can identify the things that they have already mastered, as well as some things that they still need to work on foundationally. In regards to why we do this assessment, it's important to us to be able to personalize your child's experience in kindergarten so we can determine what is the best placement for them, whether it be in a class where they're with other advanced learners, or if we're also looking at do they need extra supports within their classroom setting. We are looking for those pre-foundational skills, like do they know their letters, do they know their numbers, colors, shapes. We also look at do they know some of the basic computation, like adding and subtracting. Are they able to read some of the basic sight words, as well as we take a look at their handwriting to determine if they are still working on some of those motor skills. But also we're just trying to see what are the areas that they are confident in. So Kinder Camp is a really fun experience. It's a great way for parents to get an idea of how the school day will look. It also gets kids really comfortable with being in the school setting. Being at the big school is a huge change for those little friends who are starting in kindergarten. And so the first days can be truly scary. You can see a lot of tears and, even parents who are still struggling with dropping their babies off to this new big place. But Kinder Camp gives them an opportunity to get comfortable early so that they don't have to do that on the first day of school. They get the chance to meet the teachers, build relationships with those teachers, or even start to make some friends really early on in the summer. So we found that it has really lessened the stress and anxiety for families as well as the student before the first day of school. Some of the things that you will see at Kinder Camp is students may participate in like the drive line process or something similar to it so that they can get familiar with where to go when it's time to leave. They'll learn basic skills like walking through the hallways, how do we raise our hand to ask for help. We may also learn about some of the basic skills too. They may talk a little bit about the letters and sounds and things of that sort, but it really just gives them a chance to understand what big school is like.
The typical first day of school is going over every single routine and procedure that we have in our room throughout the day. What it looks like to stand up from their desk, push their chair in, walk to the carpet, sit down at the carpet, those kinds of routines and procedures all throughout the day. Learning how to line up in a nice straight line, giving personal space, how we look and sound in the line. A lot of times we're just practicing doing those things for a few minutes at a time, where we're just repeating those same steps over and over so that the kids get a good feel of what those routines and procedures are. The first 2 weeks of school, that is all we are practicing throughout the day. We'll fit in some fun relationship building activities or getting to know you activities so the kids can get to know each other and so that I can get to know the kids and the kids can get to know me. And we get a good feel of our daily routine. From there, we will slowly integrate other routines that will go along with say our reading block and our math block so that they understand what it looks like to sit at a carpet and be listening to a read aloud, or during math what it looks like to use manipulatives. It's not a toy, it's a math tool. So we slow that down at the beginning of the year so that they know exactly what that looks like for the remainder of the year. So once we've got that down, probably the last, after the first month of school, then we can start to move a little bit faster through curriculum and kind of go at a normal pace. As a teacher, a lot of parents come to me and ask how can they prepare their child for kindergarten. I would recommend setting a good bedtime routine and bedtime so that kids are getting a full night of sleep. It's important for them to have their energy and stamina for the next day at school. Making sure that they can do things like zip a coat, put on a backpack, put things away, making sure that they can tie their shoes. And those skills are just going to kind of help go through some of our routines throughout the day. Also, making sure that they can follow 1- and 2-step directions. That's going to help tremendously when we are learning about our routines and procedures and getting into following directions at school. Those skills are going to help tremendously when it comes to your child learning our daily routines and procedures.
It's really important to us that families stay in touch with school. Communication has to go both ways, and we are committed to reaching out to you for any questions, comments, concerns, needs, joys, or celebrations. Staying in the loop is really easy at an NHA school. Things like the NHA app allow you to just with the push of a button to connect with your child's teacher, to know what's happening in our buildings, to see how your child's performing and doing, to read your class newsletter. All of these things are going to be part of a streamlined communication portal for you to make your job as a parent and our partner be as easy as possible and as celebratory for you to thrive with this connection that we're going to have. You're an active partner in your child's education every step of the way, whether it's at a kindergarten through 8th grade school or a kindergarten through 12th grade school. Should you ever have questions, need information, or even have a concern, your voice is that most essential part of making that process happen. So if something is on your mind, we want you to reach out directly to your child's teacher, and you can do that through the NHA app. You're able to connect immediately. We always ask our staff to respond back within 24 hours on the next school day. And those teachers are the direct line between you and what's going on in the classroom. We have an entire leadership team of principals and deans at your child's school. We also have an admissions representative or a parent ambassador at your child's school. And at NHA, we have an entire parent relations department, and your particular school will have a parent relations representative who will work with you and the school to help focus on resolving any questions, needs, or concerns that you may have, because we want to give you that best experience possible. One of the other things that's so important to us is school attendance and punctuality. That begins in kindergarten, and for a kindergartner, routines, procedures are the most important part of their day, as it teaches them the systems that are in place that they can use and draw on to become much more comfortable. For example, when they when they arrive to school on time, they get to participate in our morning meetings and our moral focus programs, and all of those morning routines. It may be a do now activity that if they're late, they're not going to be able to be a part of. Then they may come in and have some concern or even some embarrassment. So being here on time every day really builds that rhythm that your child needs to be successful. It builds up their confidence. It builds up their character, because being on time and completing things when you're asked to do are traits and virtues that are going to help them to grow into a great human being. We want them to be ready to take on the world every day at an NHA school. So as we wrap today up, I want to take the time to thank you for joining us for the North Carolina Virtual Kindergarten Expo. Next steps for you in this process are going to be receiving information from the school, whether that's postal mail, phone messages, electronic mail, or otherwise, all about the exciting events that are coming up between now and the first day of school. Those could be kindergarten readiness sessions. Those could be opportunities for you to bring your child to the school, to get familiar with the campus, to meet people that they're going to see every day. All of those important things are leading up to the first day of school, which is going to be an amazing day for your child and you as their family. Keep an eye out for all of the resources that you've probably been receiving already, and be sure to check those emails regularly, your voicemails, and answer any phone calls that say they're coming from an NHA school, because we're sharing great news with you. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to your family becoming a part of ours at NHA.
We hope that you found this information valuable as you begin to get your student ready for kindergarten. If you're excited about what you learned, we would love for you to scan the QR code that's on your screen. This will take you directly to the application where you can select your school and begin the first step of the enrollment process. If you're not quite ready yet, that's okay. We totally understand. This is a really big decision for you and your family. We have a dedicated team that's available to take your call and answer any lingering questions that you may have. On behalf of NHA, thank you so much for your participation, and we look forward to welcoming your student for the 26-27 school year.